the People's International Chat Show in this lovely Wednesday evening. We have our usual suspects here for conversation on all matters relating to Scottish politics and Scottish independence right at this minute, this week. So we hope you have a good show. We have a good show with you tonight. And if you have anything to say, or even if you want to come on through the chat, please let us know. And we'll do our best again to answer your questions as openly and honestly as possible. We have tonight with us, as usual, Colin McPherson from Germans for Independence, giving us the European view, with Ian Leckenby. Ian, nice to see you back on screen.
I'm trying my best to stay on screen nice and handsome and not hiding away in the middle of nowhere. Thank you.
And we have our entertainer extraordinaire, the one and only pepper jock, Graham Dallas. Okay, subjects tonight. Positive.
Is Graham going to give us a wee tune first before we start subjects, yeah?
Yeah, right, guys.
Ian, can I just jump in for a minute? Hello everybody, but we're getting some echo in the background. Is that maybe at your end from the...
It's alright, the stream's fine.
Okay.
The stream is fine, Colin. There may be some echo between us.
Alright, that's not a problem.
It's not picked up. Graham, you're going to give us a wee song.
Well, yeah. Ready?
Go for it, Graham.
Take it away, Graham.
When my granny went down to the shops and got caught out in the rain, she got her death a cold, and she's never been the same. Well, I know what is going on, and it's a crying shame, and I ain't keeping quiet, 'cause I know who's to blame. My brother never went to school, he failed all his exams. He wants to be a surgeon, but they'll no help him with his plans. They think we're stupid, but we see right through their game. And I ain't keeping quiet, 'cause I know who's to blame. Blame it on the SNP, 'cause everything's their fault. Blame it on the SNP and keep up their song. If the sun doesn't shine and Santa doesn't come, blame it on the SNP and help us bang the drum. Now my father went down to the pub and he wouldn't come away. He got up in the morning and had beer to start the day. He went off to his work where they sacked him on the spot. Well, I know who's responsible. It's Nicky Sturgeon's fault. I blame it on the SNP, everything's their fault. Blame it on the SNP, keep up their fault. If the sun doesn't shine and Santa doesn't come, blame it on the SNP and help us bang the drum. Now you don't have to take my word for it. The evidence is clear. I'll show you where to find it. And these people are sincere. You can read it in the Daily Mail. You can read it in the Sun. And you can see it on the BBC. Because they know what they've done. I blame it on the SNP. Everything's their fault. Blame it on the SNP, keep up their song. If the sun doesn't shine and Santa doesn't come, blame it on the SNP and help us bang the drum. Very much.
Well done, Graham. Ladies and gents, you'll get that. Is it on your album or is it?
It's on the Road to Independence album, yes, which is on sale at the moment.
Excellent. So you'll get it at pepperjoke.com.
No, www.grahamdallas.com.
www.grahamdallas.com. Right, we're going to open up the wee discussion tonight with fantastic news from one of the world's top investment managers, Michael O'Sullivan, who has just finished working with Credit Suisse, and he's been there for 12 years. Who states that Scotland's in the best position it ever was to go independent because of the changing facilities or changing environment in finance, which he calls polarity, multipolarity, which is 3 areas around the world, such as the USA, the EU and China. I think it's 4 myself. I think Russia will have a big say in this as well, that they'll be the areas where finance is concentrated. I think that's my understanding. Guys, you correct me if I'm wrong. And there will be massive opportunities for small independent countries. And the damage that Brexit that's taken place through Brexit has changed not only the political scene in Europe, but also the financial scene, as we see the bankers now move their enterprises out of Britain. I believe £1 trillion worth of assets have been moved across to Europe, and the standing of the British financial institutions are going to be decimated. It's just my view, guys. I'm going to come to you, Ian. Give me your view.
I mean, it's something that we've been watching in the UK for the last 2 years since the whole Brexit vote was announced. We've seen companies looking at where are they going to trade from. The Brexit uncertainty has just caused people to move to Holland, move to France, move to Germany, because that guarantees them access to the single market. That is what the SNP has been working for the last 2 years, is to try and maintain that single market access. And we're now seeing the net result of that. We've seen London emptying its office space. I think Facebook and all the online social medias have bought up about 25% of the space that's in London now, because companies have moved out. Rolls-Royce are moving out, Jaguar are moving out. All these great British institutionalised industries are going because of our Brexit vote, or I should say our vote, Westminster's Brexit vote, the Tories' Brexit vote, and this is causing untold damage to our economy. And you drive through Glasgow now, and there's a lot of buildings going up, and the financial markets are no daft. They know where the trends are going, and the trend is for Scottish independence. It's a fact, it's happening, it's bound. The momentum is there. We're seeing polls left, right and centre coming out in pro-favour. I believe the Tories actually done a poll at 10 Downing Street on Scottish independence, and it could have been as high as 73% yes, and they refused to publish the figures on that so far. So ultimately, we are on the winning track, we're on the winning side. We just need to keep going. We need to survive Brexit first, and then we need to go independent. But we are winning the fight, and we're winning the arguments up and down the country at the moment.
One of the statements that Michael O'Sullivan made is that Scotland, even in this environment, is their statistics, their wealth creation, their wealth generation is marginally better than the rest of the UK. And we fail each time to promote our assets, promote them on the world stage. And could that be one of the reasons why Jeremy Hunt with a C has stated that he will no longer, or the UK government will no longer assist Scottish representation around the world unless it specifically promotes the United Kingdom?
Yeah, 100%. It's fact. It's getting to that stage of, because I mean I'm looking at the Facebook chat, so just a quick shout out to everyone that's there: Archie, Nancy, Maggie, Ian, Stephen. All thanks for joining us in on the stream tonight, being part of the show, being part of the positive discussion about how we go forward as an independent country. Stephen Miller's comment, HMRC moving out of East Kilbride within 5 years. Everyone else just saying hellos. Archie asking how Pat is. Also Colin, JJ Dalt was asking for you as well. So remember, hit that wee like button, hit that wee reaction, hit that wee share, take the time to start a watch party, drop a wee comment, help us be the BBC for Scotland and get some of these pro-Scotland messages out there for the people to hear.
No. We don't want to promote another channel.
Oh no, the BBC aren't allowed to use our content. We don't. I can assure you as well, we do not have the budget that the BBC has either. We're doing this on a shoestring.
By all means, tune in to Broadcasting Scotland or IndyCar with Gordon Ross or ourselves, the People's Doorstep referendum. Independence Live, definitely, and IndyLive.radio.
IndyLiveRadio.com.
IndyLiveRadio.com.
They've also got an app. You can download the app. We should get an app, but the problem is these things all cost money. They all cost time. We're getting there. We're all working together, but ultimately we are fighting a massive financial battle compared to the budgets that the BBC has. If you're going to do anything, stop paying that TV licence. Stop watching that content because it's nonsense. It's propaganda from the British. Ignore it. Make up your own mind. Listen to people across social medias.
Okay, I'm going to bring Colin in. Colin, Mr. O'Sullivan, his comments, positive, and his realistic view that Scotland would be better going it alone in this multipolarity situation that's happening. The changing face of finance and politics.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very positive because we think back to 2014, we had them all being wheeled out saying that we were too weak, too poor, too stupid. Now, that argument was a lie then. There are scores of small independent nations across the world. There are scores of independent nations that are smaller than Scotland. We have less resources in Scotland, less natural resources in Scotland. So it was a lie then. But it was wheeled out and unfortunately too many folk believed it. What we're seeing now is, especially in the context of the Brexit clusterburach, that more and more folk from across the board, be it in Europe or be it outside of Europe, are coming to the idea that Scotland as an independent nation would do quite well. The reason they're coming to that, and they're actually now stating it where they maybe didn't do so 5 years ago, is quite simply because the UK government has been playing a game basically since 2016, since the referendum, since before the referendum was internal Tory party politics, where they were basically scared Nigel Farage. Since then, we've had the best show of incompetence that you could ever hope to imagine. As I said before, if you had done a screenplay for a film about politics, the screenplay would have been sent back to you and you've been told it was too unbelievable. But this is what we've been seeing for the last 3 years since the vote in 2016. It's what we're still seeing, and what I'm very much noticing across the globe, specifically obviously my interest is in Germany, folk are getting don't take the UK seriously anymore. They see a Scotland which is willing to work with the international stage in whatever form. EU membership, again, that is a matter after independence for the people of Scotland to decide. I would be in favour of it. But they're seeing folk working constructively. And they compare that with Theresa May and what are all the Brexit sections been called? Dominic Raab, David Davis, Matt Hancock. It sounds like It says it three stooges, and they're not prepared to work constructively. The one thing that really stuck in my mind was just last week when the Brexit Party MEPs turned their back on the Ode to Joy, the European, if you like, the European anthem. The German Foreign Office tweeted, well, maybe they just don't like Beethoven. That just goes to show you that even the German government are no longer taking the UK seriously. They have burned the bridges. They have burned the bridges. They're having a laugh. They're saying, all right, see what you're going to do, but nobody's really expecting anything sensible to come of it. But what they do see is a Scotland prepared to work in whatever form it then takes, EU membership or Norway Plus or whatever form it takes. That, again, after independence, will be a decision for the people of Scotland. But they see a country prepared to work constructively.
Graham, there's not much more you could add to that, but is there anything you would like to add to it?
Yeah, a couple of things. Firstly, I'd like to say that I've always been the negative one on this panel, the cautious one, saying I don't want to move on independence until we're at 60%. I think we're clearly there now. So yeah, it's inevitable. I'd just like to say to everybody, just be patient now and enjoy the journey. It's going to happen over the next couple of years. Nicola Sturgeon will choose the right time. So just you're living through a period that's going to be massive in the history of Scotland. Just enjoy the journey. And
yeah, 100%.
Lucy, Graham. Lucy, can I?
Yeah, Graham's internet's going to be a bit sketchy. The only thing I was going to say as well, Colin, just on what you were saying before, the Liberal Democrats also turned their back on that anthem at the EU parliamentary opening. So it wasn't just the Brexit Party, it was also the Lib Dems that took part in that protest, which is ridiculous.
I don't think the Lib Dems did turn their back. What the Lib Dems done
Brexit t-shirts
was wore bollocks to Brexit, and they had their backs to the Brexit Party.
So they turned their back to the party, right? Okay. That possibly makes sense. But it's the Liberal Democrats, isn't it? They always shop and change their opinion.
I think we have to call out one very important thing here. The Liberal Democrats have been calling since 2016 for a second Brexit referendum. But at the same time, you're having the candidates for party leader that are saying they would deny Scotland permission. We're back to this permission argument again, I'll just leave it there. That they would deny permission for a second independence referendum because they say nothing has changed. And the position of the Liberal Democrats, I would almost say they're more hypocritical than the Tories.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they proved that by jumping in the bed with the Tories in 2010 and then completely abandoning their mission statement of no tuition fees. So,
absolutely, yeah.
The form speaks for themselves, but you've got to remember that the Liberal Democrat Party is a party run by Westminster and London. It is a unionist party, and it will always bend to the unionist view. So, are you sitting? Right, Graham, you're still here. Can you hear us?
yeah, everything's fine.
And we're still getting interference. You come back on there. Anyway, you get back to the.
You get back.
No, it's
really
connection, Graham.
It's fine. That's saying that I'm seeing that, hearing you all clear. I'm seeing myself moving about on the screen. So.
Aye, back now. It's weird. It could be MI5, could be any number of things. It's because you started talking.
The gremlins are with us, Graham. The gremlins.
They're always watching.
Okay, so on that subject, good news from Europe and investment expert. But it's not all about investment. Our resources are our people as well. And there's no point, and he states that in his piece, there's no point in imposing the failed UK mechanisms when you get to independence with Scottish mechanisms of the exact same nature. So we have to be a wee bit radical in our thinking and be absolutely inclusive with Scottish society, Scottish business, and the Scottish people when we're building a new state. I've just received my new book. I'm going to give this a plug because it's a Commonweal, and it's How to Start a New Country. Yeah.
Hold it to the left a bit. There you go.
How's that?
That's the pair.
Okay. Just started reading it, and it actually agrees with my point of view that we should be laying the foundations for the new Scottish state right now. And I hope that's what's taking place within the SNP and the building of satellites throughout Europe and possibly throughout the world. That we are building the stepping stones of creating the new Scottish state at the fastest and giving it the most opportunity to succeed. So I'm hoping that's what's taking place there. And that's why Mr. Hunt with a C has withdrawn the UK's financial support for trips overseas by the First Minister of Scotland. Well, if he's not going to finance it, I'm sure the Scottish people will be quite more than happy for the Scottish budget to take care of that, as long as we're using that investment, because that's what it is. It's an investment to set Scotland on the quickest path to establishing that free state. So that's my desire and that's my hopes. And a further hope is that we do it, as Nicola said, before the end of 2020. So because we've set back, we had ideas last year of how we could do it, but Angus McNeill and Chris McClerney, is it McClerney? The Inverclyde leader? McElhenney. They have come up with what I think we have been looking for is Plan B. Plan B is that should Westminster refuse to grant a Section 30, then they will stand in a manifesto that, and it's only in the SNP manifesto, but I think it should be worded that should there be a majority of pro-independence MPs or MSPs at a general election or at a Scottish parliamentary election, remembering that Nicola Sturgeon can dissolve the Scottish Parliament anytime she wishes. We could have a Scottish parliamentary election before 2021.
Well, can I just jump in with some of the chat there, because that ties into one of the questions that we've had. Archie Dick has commented, what is your opinion, guys, about using an election as a mandate for Indy Ref? I'll just jump in with a couple of other comments. Doreen, fear, false evidence appearing real. Doreen also chipped in with Gordon Ross had 2 live shows today, so he's doubled his output for the day. Archie's getting fed up with this permission to carry on. We'll tell them, they won't tell us. Stephen Widdicombe's described Scotland's treatment from the UK as the same treatment the UK has had from Europe, hypocrisy. And the stream is alright. So yeah, remember, hit that reaction button, hit the share button, comment where you shared your groups from, where you're watching from. Let us give them a wee shout out. Because one of the groups that did get shared to was Yes Giftnock. So, yes, Gifford, thanks for tuning in this evening.
Brilliant, brilliant. Just on that one issue that was raised about India F2, the mandate for India F2.
Being held in an election, yeah.
What Angus McNeil and Chris McLennan, you'll tell me his name, Inverclyde leader of the SNP, they're not asking for that being a mandate for India F2. They are stating that in the motion to conference that a majority will be a mandate to open negotiations with the Westminster government on independence. So it's basically a unilateral declaration, but it's not, because it's a qualified election or referendum result, and you carry 50% of the voters. So that's the key. We did it in 2015. We can do it again in 2019, 2020. If and only if we do as we've done before, and that is for all pro-independence parties to come together, step aside and lend their vote to the SNP. We've done it in the past. We can do it again, but it needs agreement between all parties, and I mean all parties, no exclusions, all pro-independence parties, and then we can fight for a place once we're independent. Colin, you were going to come in.
Aye. This Plan B, I am a wee bit wary of it, because the whole point about this Plan B is it is based on a Westminster voting system, which is based in first past the post.
Yeah.
Which would mean, in theory, we could have a huge majority of pro-independence MPs. We could have every seat in Scotland a pro-independence MP on 35% of the vote. Now, I'm a Democrat, and I just don't like that idea. I do like that Chris McElhinney and Angus McNeil are taking it forward as a Plan B. I think we do need a Plan B for what we do should, as they probably will, any Westminster leader deny Section 30. But I think what we really need to be working for is, I wouldn't even worry about the Section 30 order, going for a referendum and getting at the ballot box over 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Get over 50% of the ballot box, then we have a majority for independence. 50% plus one.
Yeah.
If Section 30 is denied, this people's doorstep referendum that where we all came together last year would be a way of showing that we have a majority of independence in Scotland. I appreciate that Chris and Angus are working. They have ideas saying how we maybe could go forward, and that is very good. It is very important. I personally would have a wee bit of a stomach ache with just 35% voting for the SNP, 59 out of 59 MPs, and saying, all right, well, that's the mandate for independence. And I know what Margaret Thatcher is supposed to have said. I know what everybody else has been saying. I just think that that is not enough. I think we need to get the people on side. We need to get the people on side, and the way we do it is with a referendum. Be it a referendum approved under Section 30, be it an advisory referendum, that is what we need. Be it maybe through people's doorstep referendum, where we can go out into the world and say, we actually have not just all the seats at Westminster, but we have more than 50% of the electorate in favour of independence. I think that is going to be the turning point. That is going to be what is going to make our independence viable. It's going to make independence recognised worldwide, because, again, I know we disagree in this topic part, but we need international recognition for our independence. Otherwise, we'll just turn into Kosovo, where some countries recognise it, some countries don't recognise it. We need the international recognition. We have to continue to work on doing it properly. If the UK government, Boris Johnson or Jeremy Hunt, as you say with a C, denies the mandate, the triple locked mandate that we already have for another referendum, we should have the referendum anyway, on an advisory basis. And even if the unionists were to boycott it, we get over 50% of the voting electorate out there voting for independence, so that we can say, well, even if the unionists had taken part, they would still have lost. That is the way forward. But again, I respect what Angus and Chris are doing, because we do need a plan B. There's another plan B with going to the Court of Session. Again, that's with the referendum bill going through the Scottish Parliament just now. But we have to keep pushing. The main thing is we have to keep pushing. We also have to keep persuading folk on the street. Get ourselves over this 50% threshold. Ideally up to 60, 70%, it would be great, but 50% plus one is enough. That is what we have to work on.
Yeah, totally agree. Graham, you've been sitting there for a wee while, sir, and I see you're moving quite clearly, so give us your views on Angus McNeill and Chris McElhenney.
Yeah.
McElhenney.
Yeah, just saying that that if they had a majority of MPs, they would declare independence. Is that basically what they're saying?
Basically, that's what they're saying. That would be a mandate to open negotiations with Westminster for independence.
I think it just muddies the water. I think we just tell them we're having another referendum. Let's just keep it simple. We've got the polls are in our favour now. We want the majority of people in Scotland want independence now. Circumstances have changed, and the SNP always said that when circumstances changed, they would have another independence referendum. We've always been consistent. The UK have always been all over the place on it, and I think internationally people see that. Every country has the right to have a vote for independence. The whole thing about Alex Salmond saying, it was a once in a lifetime vote, that was Alex Salmond's view. I think there was a million of us at least sitting watching him saying that on the TV, saying no chance. So you can't take one man's view and say he's speaking for a country there.
But that's an interpretation of a statement.
Yeah.
Well, the interpretation, the way I look at that once in a lifetime, is that a parliamentary life is 5 years.
Yeah.
It's 5 years, and it used to be 4 years until the UK government changed their mind and made it a 5 years compulsory set. So yes, once in a lifetime change, but it's a parliamentary change, because if it wasn't a parliamentary lifetime, then we wouldn't need to have elections every 5 years. We would have elected the Tories, and we would have to put up with that, because they would be the power if it was a once in a lifetime experience.
I think most of my life I've spent under Tory governments anyway, so...
between the red Tories and the blue Tories?
Well, I count the Blair government as a Tory government. I think that was a...
Red Tory, yellow Tory, blue Tory.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in here as well, please? Again, this once in a lifetime, or this once in a generation, apparently Nicola Sturgeon also was quoted as saying once in a generation at the time of the referendum. I think you have to see it in context.
Mm-hmm.
The context at the time was, this is our chance. We don't know if we will get the chance again. We now have a mandate for another independence referendum, which nobody could foresee in 2014. In 2014, they thought we were all going to, when we lost, we were going to crawl back under our stones and just say, Alright, ach well, we're too wee, too poor, stupid after Johan Lamont was right. But what we've been seeing since 2014 is that that is not the case. And therefore, any remarks that were made in 2014 about once in a lifetime, once in a generation, they were made at the time on the understanding at that time that this might be our only chance.
Yeah.
We now have another chance. We now not only have another chance, we have a mandate. So those remarks are effectively ancient history. And another thing I would like to maybe just come in with is the plan B that Angus MacNeil and Chris McElhinney have been suggesting. The reaction of the Tories on Twitter to this plan B has been amazing. They're saying, "Oh, now the SNP are going to drag Scotland into independence with a minority government." Now,
They're saying the agenda.
I actually replied to Chris McElhinney tonight on Twitter, and I says, "You really couldn't make it up. We have a triple locked mandate. Democratic, it is there. The Tories say, no, you can't. So we look for other ways, and all of a sudden the Tories start crying democracy."
Mm-hmm.
It is meant. It really is. You couldn't make it up.
Right, can I come in exactly at that point? Because I wrote this down when we were discussing it earlier about democracy. You live and you support a democracy, and so do I, so do we. And in this democracy, we can have governments with 35 or 41% of the majority vote, and that is called participatory democracy. We do not live in a compulsory democracy. So as long as you or we can gather 50% plus one of those who participate, that could still be seen as 35% of the population or the eligible voters. As long as we maintain in a participatory democracy, we maintain a 50% majority, which could mean 35% of the actual voters. That is democracy.
Yeah, I mean, again, there is one important point to be made here. I personally think that the first past the post electoral system we have for Westminster is democratically untenable. But we have to remember there was a referendum, I think it was 2010, 2011, where the people of Scotland voted in favour of keeping the first past the post system. So I mean, again, I'm uneasy with the first past the post system. I'm uneasy with a first past the post system with maybe 35% of the vote giving you the majority and seeing that as a mandate, but it is something that Scotland voted for.
Yeah.
Well, the first past the vote, it was a UK-wide vote.
Hold on, Ian. Ian, just a second. Graham's been sitting waiting to come in.
No, he's got a point.
I was just going to say that because I've tried to catch up on some of this chat as well before all this appears off my screen. But yeah, it was the Liberal Democrats that ran that UK-wide vote, and that was part of their bargaining chip to get into power. Because bear in mind they backtracked at that election on the student election fees and decided to, after saying we would abolish them, they bent them from 3,000 to 10,000 down in England, or 9,000, something like that. But yeah, just a bit of this Facebook chat. So everyone that's watching, thanks for stopping by, thanks for tuning in, thanks for engaging with the page. Give your comments a read here. Claire Gordon from Motherwell. Hope to see as many of you as possible at the BBC protest in Glasgow this Sunday. Let's get the numbers out there, people. I did not all know about it. We have told them about it. I will try and be there and try and put it on the page as well. I'm going to go to Stirling on Saturday for the Bannockburn rally. So yeah, busy weekend filming again. Nancy asking, guys, do you think the Tories are pushing the SNP to call it, i.e. in their F2? Stephen, could manifesto wording be enough? E.g., if you vote SNP, you're giving permission for the immediate independence. Should a majority agree? Archie, the problem is Chunt and Bojoz have already said that they won't allow a Section 30. Other routes must be explored. Clear again, I think genuinely though, 2014, give it as it won't get a majority, it will bury the question for years. I don't think so this time. I don't think it's foreseen how disastrous the Brexit situation would become. They're doing everything they can to deny us our rights to vote. People in this country need to really start paying attention to what's going on and to make sure we all vote for all these unionist parties out for being undemocratic. Anne chipped in as well with a new generation begins every year in primary school if they want to be pedant. Yeah. Stephen as well, once in a generation was a war cry, not a fact set in stone. It seemed to be the only thing the unionists actually heard us saying. And one final wee comment there, Archie, Dick, with Labour and Lib Dems gerrymandered the Scottish voting system. I think there should be a limit on the amount of time you can stand as a list MP. I want to lead very quickly on that list MP
That's
point.
a good topic.
Like, because you've got politicians that have never stood for public office, that have been there for 20 years. 20 years getting a public paycheck from us, doing hee-haw, not winning votes, not winning referendum. Get the hell out of this Scotland. You don't have any place in that parliament. If you want to sit there again, sit in a seat. Don't stand on a stupid bylaw to get you automatically elected every time. And it's always Tories. Always Tories that do that. Drives me insane. Sorry.
Margot Fraser.
Margot Fraser. Oh, Tories, just Tories everywhere in Scotland. Get them out. Why do we keep voting for them? Why do we have them here? Sorry.
Can I just jump in here? I mean, I think the list system is, as a general concept, not bad. I think it's good that we have proportional representation. I think it's good that we have the constituency seats and we fill up the constituency seats with proportional representation. The method we use in Scotland, the Hunt method, is in Europe effectively no longer seen as being the best method of doing it. I think the theory that we get list MPs, MSPs, is okay. That's fine. But I think that there should be some kind of limit as to how long you can serve as a list MSP. Because, again, Ian, as you were saying, we have certain candidates that have lost 7 elections, I think it was, lost nearly as many elections as Nigel Farage has, and still thinks he's got something to say.
And he speaks every week. Every week, that Munro speaks. Every single week.
Graham, you saying?
I'm saying, yeah, and they all speak for Scotland.
Aye.
Why at Westminster?
Yeah.
Why at Westminster? I'm going to disagree with Doug. Colin, I'm going to disagree with you. Know that there should be a time limit on list MPs. I agree. If you're on the list, you should have one opportunity to be re-elected, and you need to win the seat to be re-elected. But that's a whole different concept. But the Margot Fraser has never been elected. Never been elected. Margot Fraser has never presented a motion to Parliament that affected the Scottish people. These list MSPs are sitting, taking a wage, and as you say, doing nothing for it. They are in position because of the popularity of their party. But they are not voted on at election time because of the party, they're voted on because of who they are. But it's a bastardisation of democracy, whereby they use the profile of the person and the party to ensure they get the seat.
Or it's the profile of the person in the party to put them at the list to get the list vote.
Listen, if it was only the profile of the person in the seat, they wouldn't be elected.
No, but it's the profile of the person within their party.
Yes.
That puts them at the top of the list, which then gets them elected under the de Hont mechanism we have at Holyrood at the minute. So, I mean, again, you said you would disagree with me. I think you've just said pretty much what I said. I think we're absolutely agreed on this point.
Right. I've maybe not put myself across.
I've agreed on something, so I need to make sure I've not done it right.
You two again. That's a short record.
Oh, good stuff.
So this is when it's about four guys sitting around the table, along with some people listening in, and putting their views across. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. And I make no apology for that. But the fact is that the system is so corrupt that these guys can stay in their seat. They can stay in their seat while taking 70 grand a year and impose austerity, whether it be through Westminster's fault or not. Austerity is being imposed, and it's been passed down through the Scottish Government. And to be fair to the Scottish Government, they mitigate as much as they possibly can, or they could do a wee bit better, because the underspends are there that could afford to relieve part. Keep reserves.
Let me jump in quickly there. Austerity has been handed down by the Barnett formula.
Yeah.
The underspend for the Scottish Government is what you call good housekeeping. You keep something back for a rainy day.
But they're guaranteed. They must have a budget, a balanced budget. So they have an underspend.
The underspend is because you have to keep something back for a rainy day. Because you get situations like pennies, for example, in Annan, where they have to come in and put some money in to try to put something. An underspend is responsible housekeeping. The underspend is then carried over as, if you like, a profit for the next budget. And so, from that point of view, the underspend is relative, because a history of underspend, you're putting the amount forward every year anyway, so you still have the same amount of money, so you're still spending the full amount of money that is allocated to you.
That's allocated as well. This is a budget that's decided by Westminster. We do not have any borrowing powers in Scotland. We have to rely on the handout from Westminster, but we give them everything. We give them all our gas and oil. We give them all our tidal. All our revenues all go through Westminster. The whisky industry, which is an industry that I'm trying to specialise myself in, Brexit's made it really difficult. It has got a revenue raising power of something like 4 billion to the Scottish economy, but that's through direct Scotland sales. Most of our whisky revenue disappears as soon as it leaves an English port, which is where 95% of our product goes. And in independent Scotland, we've got the ports going in Greenock to go into the Atlantic, and over in Forsyth, I believe there's some over there and all. So we've got phenomenal resources, phenomenal assets. It's time that we decide how that money gets spent. Do we spend it on nuclear weapons? Do we spend it on illegal wars? Do we spend it on London infrastructure projects? I say no to all of that, and I think everyone in Scotland should start saying no to all of that. Sorry, I'm quite angry tonight.
Can I just ask Ian to clarify that then? I always thought £4.5 billion was the total of whisky sales throughout the world. Are you saying that's just Scotland?
That's apparently the Scottish revenue for whisky is 4 billion. But if you have a bottle of whisky that sails from Bournemouth, it classifies as Dover, or any English port. Not to promote any English port over a Scottish one, but if it sails from there, which majority of it does, it's classified as technically on the balance sheet as an English product. The same way that the gas and the oil that comes off the North Sea and gets pumped straight into England doesn't classify as a Scottish product. In fact, most of the oil revenues are classified as generated out of Scotland's economy. So our balance sheet, our deficit, is non-existent, doesn't exist. We're a net contributor to the UK. Why do you think they fought so hard to keep us in 2014? Why do you think the Chancellor of the Exchequer now, Philip Hammond, is coming out and saying we can't afford to end austerity if we lose Scotland, if they vote to leave? We are the cash cows.
Well, that's very important what you just said there, because the common perception is that that 4.5 billion is a worldwide figure for whisky, but what you're saying is it's probably double, maybe even treble that.
Scottish whisky makes up about 70 to 80% of the whisky market. Every whisky that gets made in Scotland now. Ireland's whisky industry, for example, it has a value of like 2.5 billion to the Irish economy. It currently makes up 4% of the world's whisky sales. So how can Scotland, that's producing more than half of the world's whisky consumption, be making just a wee tiny bit more than what the the Irish are doing? It's you're being lied to, people. Look at the facts.
Let me come in there because I've got a wee bit that'll clarify what you're saying. Whisky isn't taxed until it's sold. So you can have whisky sitting in whisky bonds and there is no tax payable on it until it leaves that whisky bond. So while it's in secure storage, and that is in transit as well, there is no tax payable on it. So if it leaves Glasgow, or it leaves Rosyth, or it leaves any port in Scotland, the tax is then attributed to Scotland. But if it leaves Newcastle, or it leaves Liverpool, or it leaves Dover, then the tax is attributable to the English Treasury. Yep. So it's a multi-billion pounds contributor to the UK, but it contributes 4.5%, 4.5 billion to the Scottish economy under GERS.
Wow.
But that also applies. That also applies to any business that is headquartered in Scotland or headquartered in England, such as Tesco's. Tesco's operates throughout the UK. It is not headquartered in Scotland. It is headquartered somewhere in England. So the tax that it generates is applied to the Westminster Treasury direct, and Scotland doesn't have any application in that matter. That's my understanding. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think you're pretty much bang on.
Anybody online chipping in on this?
Aye, well, Stevens contributed saying the only country in the UK to record a trade surplus since day one is Scotland. Water, IT, gin, renewable energy. He was just listing off a few of the products that we can export. Charlie chipped in as well. The Tories in Scotland are just muppets. Who do you think the Tories in Westminster really care about? The Scottish Tories. And I think we're reading back there. We're getting into comments about Munro and bunch of squatters in the Scottish Parliament. So listen, everyone's on the Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you bash that wee reaction button. Drop a wee comment. This isn't live. This is an interactive show. If you want to get in the panel, we've approached a few people. We could have a few potential guests in the future. I don't want to give any information away, but please get involved with us. Get the message out there that Scottish independence is normal. It's the right thing for Scotland in these difficult, dark days of Brexit.
Here's another thing on tax. Right? Give me 2 seconds just to get it up. That's the government. So it's from a government side. Petroleum tax. Petroleum revenue tax, PRT, is a tax on profits from oil and gas production in the UK, on the UK continental shelf. Approved before 1993. PRT was permanently zero rated from the 1st of January 2016. Now, if you don't know what that means that prior to the 1st of January 2016, the government used to take a percentage in tax. It now no longer takes that percentage in tax. So it's saying to the petrol or the oil producers, you don't need to pay us any tax. will give you. And that is why Norway is able to make 14 to 17 billion dollars a year in production of oil, and we are stating we're getting zero tax. This is all about corporate Britain. We used to take tax, and now what they call it is the revenues that they make from oil are from an unknown region, because they actually load it at sea. Okay? They load it at sea so that it doesn't touch Scotland or it doesn't touch England, but the UK Treasury still gets its cut and applies it directly to the UK Treasury without Scotland getting an appearance on that. Am I right or am I wrong, Colin?
You're absolutely right, and the one thing that I think we might be making a slight mistake on, I mean, we're challenging the figures that the UK government throw at us, and that is right. But there's a fundamental principle here. Scotland is a nation of just over 5 million folk. It has natural resources. It's got other things like food supply, products which are recognised currently worldwide, currently products under the EU which are protected with the geographical indication, and there are not many other countries worldwide that are independent countries, and they all seem to be doing all right. Interestingly enough, some of the smallest countries in the EU seem to be doing all right. I'm thinking about the Baltic republics, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. I'm thinking about Croatia. I'm thinking about Slovenia. I'm thinking about Malta, where the famous Times headline from back in the 50s is always getting shared, how Malta would be a basket case if they got independence. Sometimes I think we get too bogged down in figures. If other countries can do it, why can't we?
Yep.
And sure, we need figures. They're important. We need to put the positive case over. But for me, sometimes it is very much a case that other countries, smaller countries of Scotland, with fewer natural resources in Scotland, with fewer other resources than Scotland, are very successful as an independent country.
Mm.
So are we the only people in the world that are so stupid that we can't go it alone?
That's the mantra of the UK government that are attempting to programme the populace into believing that we're too weak, we're too poor, and we're too stupid.
But that's what I'm saying. We have to move the debate maybe a wee bit away from the figures, because your normal man or woman in the street isn't going to be interested in jazz figures. They're not going to be interested in all the statistics we can throw at them about economic advantages. Just put something simple, easy to understand on the table. Croatia can do it. Lithuania can do it. Estonia can do it. Why can't we?
Well, we had a change. We had a change in the media this week. I don't know if you remember the Jeremy Vine interview with Paul Burrell.
How could you forget it?
How can Scotland stand on its own? What has it got? Oil and a big monster. Well, this week Jeremy Vine corrected that after attending a charity gig with Drew Hendry.
How did Ruth Davidson come into this then?
Ruth Davidson, I've no idea, I've not mentioned her yet.
You did. We've got oil and a big monster.
Well, there is a similarity to monkfish. But Drew Henry was at this charity gig and he spoke to Jeremy Vine on the matter of Paul Burrell, and he politely handed over a sheet with Scotland had, in answer to Paul Burrell's statement, Scotland has 34% of the UK's agriculture, 90% of its oil, 75% of its water, a £4.5 billion whisky industry.
Fish.
So, sorry?
50% of its fish stock.
50% of its fish. You could go around the actual resources of the UK, and we would have somewhere between 1/3 and 3/4, or in the point of oil, 90% of its resource.
And the point there is we're only 8% of the population.
Exactly. Ian.
Aye.
Change in attitude from the media.
I'm off the media, but if we could be the media again for a wee second, just to promote another story. We've got Eva Geller arriving in Newcastle tomorrow morning about 11 AM.
Yeah.
She's going to be cycling up. She's been doing from Germany to Scotland, supporting independence. You'll find her on YouTube. If you're in the area, we'll be publishing all our details on the Facebook page where she's going to be. I believe she's planning to be in Edinburgh on Saturday, Linlithgow on Sunday, Glasgow on Monday. But yeah, make sure you can pop on social media and give her a wee boost, because she is currently cycled from Germany so far. She's doing a phenomenal job.
Well, just to clarify, she arrives in Newcastle at 9 AM tomorrow morning.
Yes, 9 or 11 AM I believe the boat's due in. I've seen two comments. I was reading through the chats and there was two different comments.
Well, I think Eva's been consistent that she's arriving at 9 AM, and I believe there's somebody from the Yes Group's camper van have gone down to meet her.
Brilliant.
But
That's
if
what I'm aware of.
Sorry?
That's what I'm aware of. There's somebody going to get ready and meet her and get her up. I've been in contact with Yes Groups in the Borders area, if they can maybe organise something. I know that a good friend of ours, one of ours, Sam Cook, would love to organise a reception for her in Glasgow on Monday. And I think that what Eva is doing, it really does deserve our absolute total respect.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm in constant, pretty much constant contact with Eva. I run the Twitter account for the Germany to Scotland bike counts. She's always feeding me with information, always keeping us going. I had a wee phone call with her yesterday, and she's had quite a lot of problems along the way, but she's in there. She's still keeping going. She's saying she won't be stopped. And I think one thing that we really need to be aware of, we're talking about a woman going on her own. She had, obviously, she's a grandmother. She's had a few stops in Germany where, well, she knows she's even had a stop with her family, so that's been quite nice. But now she is really out there on her own. I wouldn't like to insult her, she's elderly. She's only 3 years than I am. But she is coming into the prime of life, and she has got the gumption to get out there and do this, and I think it deserves a great deal of respect. And folk listening in Scotland, if you get the chance, follow the group on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. I think it's at Germany Bike or at Bike Germany, one of the two. We'll be posting updates sort of times she's going to be arriving in Scotland. As Pat said, Edinburgh, then Linlithgow, then Stirling, then Glasgow. Get out there, give her a great Scottish welcome. She deserves it.
What's her Facebook page? Is it Scottish Independence Germany to Scotland by bike?
I think so. Let me have a quick look and I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. Yes, we need to take the opportunity to promote the feat, the actual adventure that Eva has took on. And she stuck by it. She lost her bag and she was fortunate there was a good honest person handed it into the police because it contained her money and her documentation and passport and everything. So that was fantastic. It was a wee bit of a scary day for her, but we got there and she's now arriving at Newcastle at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you're in the position to offer Eva a bed for the night, just to assist her, and some company, some food, or even a drink during the day, get onto the page, find out where she's going to be, and provide that support. We did it for the 500-mile walkers, and we can do it for Eva, because that's 1,000 miles she's cycling from Germany. But that leads us on to our past weekend.
Just jump in there quickly, please, Pat. The Facebook page, I'm not getting the full title on my mobile, but the title is Independent Scotland from Germany. So if you search for that, I'll post the link in the comment section of our group. And we also have the Twitter account, as I say, which is, if you give me just 2 seconds, at Bike Germany. At Bike with B written as a capital and Germany with G written as a capital. At Bike Germany is the Twitter account, which I'm helping Eva to run. As I say, we're in constant contact, and it would be great to see folk out there giving her a warm Scottish welcome.
Yeah.
Right. The Facebook page is Independent Scotland, Germany to Scotland by bike. I'm sure that's the page.
Yeah,
a message of support is enough to bring a smile to her face. Brings us to the weekend. Ian.
It was a very good weekend.
The People's Doorstep referendum were broadcasting live from Ayr. I was part of the Independence Live team. Apparently, I was the only member of the Independence Live team that didn't have a break in transmission. Must be something to do with EE, and there's a wee plug for them. Graham, you weren't there?
No, I haven't been invited to much this year. I've been.
You were there in spirit?
I was there in spirit, yes. I was actually going to try and get down. I was playing in Motherwell on Friday night, and it was my intention to go here on the Saturday, but I had to get back up the road. I forgot I'd been invited to a birthday party on Saturday afternoon, so.
It was a fantastic day. I think we had the announcement was there was 13,500 attended, which on the weekend of the OO marches in Glasgow, to have 13,500 attend a public rally, and all I'm going to say is there was not one arrest.
I've been at every single rally so far this year. Not every single marching rally that I'm aware of. All the ones that have been organised by All Under One Banner. There has yet to be a single arrest at any of them. The police are always there. They always do a cracking job. The stewards that All Under One Banner put out are phenomenal as well. Everyone's safe. You can go with kids. You can go with your dogs. You can go with your pals. You can go and support Scottish independence safely and happily. And it's a slight different atmosphere to what you get at these Orange Order marches. Listen,
we'll not get into the negatives of that, because we don't have to. It's all over the press.
Yeah.
But what we can do is we can promote the absolutely happy, family-friendly atmosphere that you get when like-minded people get together, or how they are supposed to act when like-minded people get together.
Yeah.
There's no hatred. There's no jealousy. There's no bad feeling, other than those who wish to stand on the periphery, and I'm talking about that farce for good. I was able to get a close-up recording of the actual turnout for a farce for good. They had something like 50 metres of fencing, and it was farce for good, big space, farce for good, big space, farce for good, so that they could give the illusion that there was a turnout in support of the union. Well, that's your opposition. If they cannot have a counter demonstration of at least a 10% proportion, then there is no opposition to Scottish independence.
Yeah.
In reality.
It's the same people that go from all under one banner every time. There was 27 of them on Saturday. 27.
A farce for good, not under one banner.
A farce for good. Sorry. But yeah, they go there. Alistair, whatever his name is, stands with his manky jacket, as everyone likes to call him. Stands there with his microphone, shouts abuse at the kids and the families. Everyone going by. The guy, if you look into him, he's a Holocaust denier. He denies the use of gas chambers. That's why he got kicked out of the BNP. The British National Party don't want anything to do with him because the guy is a nutter. But everyone that's daft enough to continue supporting his Facebook page, donating to every single post he puts on, yous are saving the union. Yous are doing a great job. Keep putting food on that guy's table. That's a good investment yous are making. It's a joke. Why do you entertain them there?
Let's return to the positive message.
The positive message is we had over 13,000 in air. We had a phenomenal day. We've had 21,000 views on the video that we shared through the Doorstep referendum page. We do plan to go to every single march and rally for Scottish independence. As I said, I'll be taking it to Bannockburn this weekend. Do you know what? Now I've found out about BBC protest on Sunday, I'll pop along there as well. And we're going to be going to Campbelltown at the end of the month as well. So yeah, if you can't make it, join our stream, because as I say every time that we're on there, I classify every single person that tunes in that stream. You're part of the numbers. You're part of the movement. Thanks for being there. Yeah. Thanks for being part of it. And yeah, we get they're popular videos. I don't accuse the host of being any part responsible for that. But what I will say, just a wee personal plug for myself, Ian Russell, who's the boy that does all the rally videos, he came up to us and he was like, "Oh, you're the boy that's been doing those videos. I love your banter." I'm like, "Well, do you know what? I'll take that." So yeah, thanks for joining in, thanks for tuning in, thanks for liking, sharing, reacting, commenting, doing all this stuff, keep repeating over and over and over, but that's how we beat the Facebook algorithms.
Campbelltown is Saturday the 27th.
Yes.
Colin, you were going to come in there, were you?
Aye.
You're coming, aren't you?
I'm going to be in Campbelltown. And going back to Ayr, I mean, I knew that I couldn't make Ayr because I couldn't get time off work this week. So that's why I said, okay, fine, I'll leave Ayr out. That's okay. I was following it a bit in the Independence live stream. Part of what you did, we're going around the stalls, I thought was brilliant, really good, getting other folk involved. I really enjoyed that. And also, Ian, I was following your stream some of the time as well. And again, as always, you did a great job. Ian Russell does a great job as well. And the thing that got me was I was thinking, I wish I was there. It was really...
it was so hot.
It was there.
How could you imagine it? A July in air and it was hot and sunny?
Aye, but see what the end result was again going back to Independence Live and Indie Leg Radio. Archie, I don't know if he's still on the watching this. We have the show with Jabberwocky every Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday night, which is a great banter as well. There's a good wee group that we're all chatting together, having a bit of a banter. We're all in the same show, and it's really great. I met a few of the guys down in Galashiels, and there's a few more of them over in Ayr, and saying, "Oh, it was great to meet you up. Great to meet you up." What I just said was, "See what? I'm going to book my flight to Edinburgh, so I'm now officially going to Edinburgh as well." So I just thought, if I didn't book it, flights are going to get more expensive. Everything's going to get more expensive. I want to be in Edinburgh because Edinburgh is going to be the biggest one in history. But Campbellton is our first priority. Campbellton is very out of the way. It is very difficult to get to in public transport. There are a few buses available that are going.
Well, you can't get the ferry across the Largs.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways of doing it, but it's not easy to get to. If I was, I'm staying with one of the other guys, one of the other admins from Germans for Independence. We're staying near Oban in Dalmally for a couple of nights. I'm staying with him, and he's going to drive us up for the march in Campbellton. If you are reliant on public transport, Campbellton is not good to get to. But irrespective of that, we want a good turnout in Campbellton. We're going to show, even in these smaller towns and cities in Scotland, just like we did in Galashiels, just like we did in Ayr, just like we did in Oban. I'm looking at 10,000 in Campbellton, so I know there's a lot of folk going over. They're making the effort, and we will show there is an appetite for Scottish independence. It is as simple as that. We have to get out there on the street, showing our face, flying our flags. The thing that I always come back to, and I know I've spoken about it in this show many a time before, way back in 1988, 1989, in the old East Germany, they were told what they weren't allowed to do. They got out in the streets. They showed their faces. They risked life and limb because they didn't know if the Stasi or the Volkspolizei were going to actually start shooting at them. But they still went out. They got out there. They showed their face. They showed the appetite for what they wanted. And that has to be our example, that we get out there on these marches and rallies. We're just because they say, oh, a few nuts flying flags. It's not a few nuts flying flags. It's the people of Scotland showing what they want.
Yep.
Yeah. And on the 1st of November, we have the Germans for Independence holding their annual Indie Action Day in Püsnik in Germany. So there's an open invitation to anybody who wishes to attend. It's the 1st of November. There's a few of us will be over there from the 26th of October, but the 1st of November is the Indie Action Day held annually by Germans for Independence. And it just reinforces the support we've got from Europe, from Europe's MEPs, and gives us the opportunity to take our message across to Europe and thank our European brothers and sisters for the support they show us.
Can I just quite quickly, for accommodation, there is a local hotel, B&B. I'm not quite sure how it is, but I do know that Marco has blocked a lot of rooms in that place. So if you are needing accommodation, get in touch with us. And
the Franzenhof, B&B. We spent a week there. No, it was last year. It was August, September, October. It was really quite warm. But we had a fantastic time there. So I can recommend that, and there are other B&Bs and hotels in and around the Pusnick area. Graham, you've been sitting quietly. The matches, the rallies coming up, the importance of them, and the importance of the movement to push for India F2 or a majority the next Scottish parliamentary election or the next UK election. Agreed? Disagreed? Anything you want to say about
I think all under one banner and hope over fear and all these groups and also we should also mention Martin Keaton's. I think he's trying to organise one in Dunfermline. Martin always tries to do his own one.
The one we always forget.
Yeah, and he's struggling for money, I think. So, but yeah, I mean everybody's doing a good job and everything's moving the right way. Just keep it going.
Okay, guys. I think that's a subject stop for the night.
31st of August for Dunfermline Rally, by the way, is the dates.
When?
31st of August.
Yeah, and I would think get support Martin.
And listen, I'll pop along and I'll broadcast it as well on the page. But see, when it comes to the whole money thing, I don't even promote my own Patreon on this page. I've never done it on this social media. You can listen to Daffy's online like Ian Week. He'll tell you I'm after all the independence people's money. I'm not.
Listen.
Well, I've got flights and accommodation booked for Dunfermline.
Oh.
I was speaking to Martin in The Hague, and I said I'm going to be over in Dunfermline for the Forwarders 1 match as well. But again, Ian just said they've got crowdfunding going right now. They need a wee bit of money. They're doing a slightly different event to All Under One Banner. It's more family orientated. They try and do more music, entertainment orientated, not quite so many speeches. I've seen the events the last couple of years, what they've been doing. It's a great event, and I'm really looking forward to be taking part in that as well.
Yeah, it deserves support, man.
No, it does. It definitely does, especially after this year, and we all know the issues he's had with his own health and his mother's health. And that's the reason he hasn't been able to concentrate on merchandising and fundraising. Because in the previous events, the first event he financed basically himself with the help of a few locals, but the second event was truly funded by merchandise and T-shirts and so forth. But this year he's just had far too much on his plate to concentrate on fundraising. So if you can, Colin, can you put a link to his fundraiser on the feed?
I have a wee quick look for it and I'll put it on the comments.
Okay, and I'll make a wee donation myself at some point. If you can, folks, make a donation as little or as much as you possibly can, because it's so important that we maintain the momentum going into this, and I think it will be our final year. But on a positive note, Robert Bruce, the movie, has been screened not only in Cineworld, who refused to screen it. The View carried out a test, as it were, to see if there was interest in actually screening the film. And I attended it on Monday night, and I've got to say, for a Monday night, for a film that's really not had any promotion other than ourselves, it was almost a packed room.
Brilliant.
So that's a message to you. Thank you for putting that on. It may have been a marketing ploy for a Monday night, but thank you anyway. And I hope the response that you received from those who turned out will reinforce that if you run it, it will be a goer. And I've got to say, at the very end, we were all sitting there quietly, and we just burst into spontaneous applause. And you don't get that often in a cinema. But the story is not Braveheart. It's not blood and guts. There's a little action in it, here and there, but it's a story about how one person who was king at the time faced adversity. And with the assistance of the Yes family, as it were, at that time, won through to commit to go and win Scotland's freedom. But go and see the film. It's an absolute brilliant screenplay, well filmed, and I can praise it no higher. It should be a winner.
How did they depict the battle for Stirling Airport again?
I'm not going to tell you.
Alright.
Let's give away the movie.
No point in doing that. But I have an idea. Angus McFadgen has been in contact. I've been in contact with him, and he did reply. And he has another 2 projects that he would be interested in getting off the ground. And I'll put it there right now. How can the Yes family help him put those projects together sooner than the 20 year or 23 years it took to put this together?
Crowdfunding.
Right, guys, I think that's us for the night. Viewers, listeners, I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's flowed quite freely. I've enjoyed it. It's always good to catch up with these guys face to face. But we would love some of you guys to come on and join us. All you need to do is have a Skype connection, and we can do the rest. So send us your Skype ID, and we'll invite you onto the show. And hopefully in the future, we're going to have some interesting individuals to come and join us on the show and shake it up a bit. So, good night from me.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night from the end. Thank you very much. Good night.